Hello friends, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Hey, today we're going to be making up some sort of a massive soup, very thick, lots of ground provision. And I'm just going to quickly go through the ingredients we'll be using here. Of course, it's somewhat of a Sancoche, I think it's referred to, but we're going to be using salted pigtails for this one. So again, I'm just going to start off with the main ingredients. Obviously, there's going to be like salt and pepper and whatnot added later on, but here we go. I've got here about 2 pounds of salted pigtail, and to that we're going to be adding, I've got 1 sweet potato there, 1 piece of yam. That yam is maybe about 1.5 pounds or so, 1 dasheen, some green cooking bananas. There we have, what is that, 4 potatoes. Just your normal everyday potato, be the white potato, new potato, any sort of potato that you may have. I have here maybe about 7 Eddos, 1 carrot. I've also got some pumpkin, some garlic, a habanero pepper. I've got an onion somewhere back here. So I got some fresh thyme, as well as some okra. We've got some shadow benny. If you don't have shadow benny, you can use cilantro as well. Some scallions. Typically, we'll be using taro leaves or dasheen bush leaves in this recipe. It's a sort of spinach. So I couldn't source those. So what I'm using is just some everyday spinach that I got in the grocery store here. And everything is going to be going in that massive pot that I purchased recently, exclusively for soup. So here we go, guys. We're going to be making this pigtail soup. It's over a Sancoche, as I said. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correct, but tons of provision. And we're going to be adding some dried split peas to this as well. So basically what I've done next is I've cut up the pigtail into maybe about 2-inch pieces. And I'm just going to add it to the pot here, cover it with water, bring it up to a boil, just to boil some of the saltiness, the brine sort of thing that the pigtail was cured in. Now, if you're not into pork, you can certainly use salted beef or just plain old beef bones or something to flavor this soup. So now everything's starting to go a bit golden there. So what I'm going to do here is add the pieces of salted pigtail that I sort of pre-cooked before to the pot. And to that, I'm also going to add about 1.5 cups of dried split peas that I washed just in the cool water. Just going to add that to the pot as well. And what we're going to do then is add some liquid. So I have about 8 cups of water here. If you want to use chicken stock, beef stock, or vegetable stock, feel free to do so. Now later on, when we start adding the ground provision and everything else, we're going to add maybe about the same amount of water again. So in total, we're probably going to use anywhere from 16 to 20 cups of water. And that's it. What I'm going to do is bring this up to a boil, cover the pot, and allow it to simmer on a very low heat for about 45 minutes or so until the pigtail as well as the dried split peas starts to go tender. It's been boiling now for about 40-45 minutes. The split peas in there is starting to expand, so I know it's starting to cook down. So what I'm going to do now is peel all the other ingredients like the green banana, the carrots, the sweet potato, the yams, Eddos, dasheen, as well as the okra. Just about all the other ingredients I'm going to toss in there now. And I'm going to have to add some more liquid. I'll be also adding some coconut milk to it. And this is 1 can of coconut milk. 1 habanero pepper there, Scotch bonnet pepper I think I have, to the mix as well. So what I've done now is I've peeled and diced all of the ground provisions, including the carrots as well as the potato. And as you can see, I tried to keep them about the same size, the pieces about the same size, just because this allows them to cook evenly. to that. Now what I'm going to be doing is adding this to the pot that's been cooking now for about 45 minutes or so, like I said. Then we're going to add 8 more cups of water as well as the coconut milk to the pot. Then the final step is going to be to taste for salt. So we're going to taste for salt now, but remember, since the pigtail was already a salted pigtail, we may only need to add just a little bit of salt to the dish. So now what I've done is I've added all the ground provision, the okras, the just about every ingredient to the pot except the spinach. I'm just going to chop that up roughly and then add it to the pot. As you can see, it is a massive pot of soup. This soup is probably good for about anywhere from about 8 to 10 people. Remember, in the Caribbean, our soup is more like a North American stew, so you will find it to be very, very chunky and heavy and thick. We're going to let this cook now for about half an hour to 40 minutes until everything is tender and starts melting away. And again, I'm going to add the spinach to it now as well to allow everything to cook. The chopped spinach has now been added to the pot, so it's going to look like a lot, but it's all going to wilt away and melt out into the soup here. The very final step. Now, usually I would put flour dumplings in this, but from the size of pot I have, as well as the contents of it, I mean, let's say I have no more space in there. This is going to be a massive soup, like I told you. I won't be putting dumplings in there. I know a lot of people is going to be asking, Chris, how come you didn't put dumplings? Well, basically I have no room to put dumplings. But what I'm going to do to add some extra flavor to this, and of course you can use Maggi soup, you can use some of those bouillon, anything that would give it a bit of flavor. But what I especially like is the Grace cock soup, and it is a spicy. As you can see, it says spicy on there. I usually toss in a couple of these. Today I only have one package, so I'm going to be making that suffice. But however, any sort of chicken stock or beef stock, I mean, let's say anything that adds flavor to your soup, feel free to add it here. Remember, I already added a can of coconut milk, so that's going to give it a lovely flavor as well. And by the way, guys from Grace, if you guys are watching this video, it's a good product placement I'm giving you guys here. Why don't you guys sponsor my site, sponsor my videos, contact me. I'd love to have you guys on board. So here we go, guys. The soup is all done. As you can see, it's the split peas is all melted away. It made the soup nice and thick, along with the okra and the spinach. All the pieces of vegetable ground provisions are still nice and thick. So that's it, guys. This soup has been cooking anywhere from an hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes, and it's all done. You'll notice that the Scotch bonnet pepper is left whole. That is because if I wanted the heat, I would burst it in there. Now, if you guys don't want the heat, feel free to fish it out. Also, remember to take out all the sprigs of thyme that we put in there. I had put the entire thing in there, so you can fish them out now and get ready to serve.